Coach Sloan, you are the Washington State track and field team's multi-coach.
Yes.
You coach heptathletes and decathletes. Tell me a little bit about the Cougars this year in the multis.
Well, we just have men this year. Shaquana Logan has done the heptathlon for us and scored in the conference. I'm not sure if we're going to go that direction with her. She's looking at triple jump on her plate now, and I mean she's a very talented athlete. And I think probably we won't do heptathlon, but that's still kind of up in the air. But for the men, we've got three very able-bodied and talented decathletes, and Michael Boligar is our top scorer. Spencer Wardell is a junior this year, and Sean Harris is in his fifth and final year of competition. And both of them, Spencer and Sean, had good indoor seasons. Michael has been battling some tendonitis and jumper's knee, it's called, and it's tendonitis in his takeoff leg. So that's really inhibited his indoor season, and we see it kind of getting in. We're getting some special treatment on it this week, and hopefully that'll get it turned around and get him back into action.
For each of your decathletes, what is their probably their best event among the 10 for each of them?
Well, unfortunately for Michael, his best event is probably the high jump, and that is he's jumped almost 7.2 before last 2 years ago in an indoor meet, and dealing with this jumper's knee, he's not even able to practice the event. And so overall for Michael, the jumps are his strong suit because he's long jumped 24.2, pole vaulted 15.3. So there's a lot of points for him there, and not being able to practice or compete in those events is really slowing his progress. On the other hand, his throwing events, which were his weakness, where he's been doing most of his work, have progressed rather nicely, and his running is going well also. With Sean and Spencer, neither one of them really have a particular event that stands out. If you put me on the spot and say, well, name one, I would say probably for Sean it would be his high hurdles. He was an outstanding high school hurdler and has done a great job in the highs. And with Spencer, could be the 400 meters, but I would say that probably relative to other decathletes, his strong suit would probably be the 1,500 meters. But he has usually a 1,500 meter runner. You think, well, they're a distance guy and they're not going to be that great in the sprints, but Spencer's run 10.95 in the 100. So he's got good running events across the board. His vault has come along nicely, and throws are where he's looking to still develop. And Sean's pretty good, pretty solid work all the way across the board.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the team as a whole, the men's team and the women's team. Coming off a pretty successful indoor season for the Cougars, I know you have some numbers about how they performed individually.
Well, yeah, I just, on a whim, I just kind of went through our best marks list and looked at looked at each event and looked at what their lifetime best and what their seasonal best was. And when those two marks matched up, those people this year competed and did better indoors in their event than they've ever done in their life. And we had 42 women eligible for indoor track and field. And of those 42, we had 47 lifetime bests. Now, some people got more than one, some people didn't get any, but still 47 out of 42 competitors, 47 lifetime bests. And on the men's side, we had 51 eligible track and field athletes indoors, and we had 56 lifetime bests. So more than one per person on average. And I saw a quote the other day that said, progress isn't as much about speed as it is about direction. And I think with that, those lifetime bests tell me we're working in the right direction. People are getting better. And so it excites me for the outdoor season to see how we've progressed through the indoor season, and I think big things are ahead of us.
What do you see as the strong parts of the men's team for the outdoor season?
Well, I think there's a lot of strong parts. I think our jump core. One thing I look at is if I look at the lifetime best, if I do a depth chart, it shows our lifetime best for each person in each event that they do. Our team is dynamite. That's a very strong team. Sean Swartz is a 7-foot high jumper, but he's had some problems with his knees, and so that slowed him a little bit. Jovan has jumped, Vukasovic has jumped over 7.5, and that's his legal lifetime best. However, he's had a little problem with his Achilles. So if we had all of our people up to speed and just as good as their lifetime best has been, boy, we'd be very, very strong. And I think that's true on the women's team as well. But from a men's standpoint, I think that our jumps are a strong area for the team. And I think that our sprinters have done a great job. I think our 4x1 will be fast. 100 through 400 meters, I think, will be good, strong areas for us competitively. I think that our distance crew, as it has shown throughout the indoor season with some of the championships we've won and some of the marks that people have gotten, I think that that's real exciting. And now we're adding the steeplechase, and Andrew Gonzalez is going to come out, and that's where his strength is. And so I think that even our javelin is an event we didn't have indoors, and javelin guys are looking pretty good. Oliver Henry's in for a good year. So I think that there's good strength across the board for the men's team, and I think in most areas we have good depth as well. So I'm real anxious to get it started and see what we can accomplish as an outdoor track and field team.
What about your women's team this year for 2013 outdoors?
Well, as we started the indoor season, I thought that we still had a ways to go, but I think I was correct in that assessment. But what's encouraging is how quickly we made up ground. The women's team got 7th in that indoor championship, which is a 15-team championship. It's virtually the Pac-12, and then we throw in BYU and some other great programs into it to get it to 15. USC is the only women's program that doesn't participate in it, and Oregon State. So for us to get middle of the pack there and get a 7th place, actually above middle of the pack, our women competed very well. And that's the thing I've said all year long, is that I feel that men and women, but especially the women, have really brought an attitude to their work ethic, and their attitude toward competition, and their expectation are very high, and we have some strong areas. Right now, Christine Kirkwood is a little bit banged up with a little bit of a back injury. Hoping to get her around here in the very near future, but our javelin corps in the women's side is very strong. And I think that the 400 meters outdoors will be a good area for us with Shauna Furman. Shaquana Logan is so talented that she's going to contribute in a number of areas for our women's program. Holly Parent, get her back up to speed. The women's high jump is an area with 3 5-foot 10-inch jumpers or higher on the team. That was 2nd place at last year's Pac-12 championship. So we need all 3 of those people up healthy and at top of their game, and that can be a real strong area. So it's we're not real deep in the distances, but Caroline Austin, our team captain, Ruby Roberts, and Courtney Zalad, all 3 of them had very good indoor seasons with lifetime bests, and Ruby and Caroline will be moving to steeplechase. Ruby probably serving duty in a number of different events. So I think that's going to be a good area. I think the potential's there for us to be a good, strong team in outdoor competition. And we just have to keep people developing like we've seen indoors. And if we accomplish that, and I think our coaches do an outstanding job of bringing people along. So my expectation is one of excitement, that I think that we're going to see the Cougs perform well in the outdoor track season.
All right, Coach Sloan, thank you very much.
My pleasure.